Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ava, and today we're diving into a case that's causing people to think twice about using rideshare services. This is the story of Chanti Dixon, a vibrant young mother whose life was cut tragically short in a senseless act of violence. Please like and subscribe to our channel as we bring you real-life stories every week. Chanti Dixon was born in 1994 to Risa Dixon. She came from a big close-knit family and was the older sister to her siblings. In September of 2024, she moved into a new apartment on Wagner Lane in Indianapolis and was living the life she always dreamed of. At the time of her death, Chanti was 30 years old and was described as a shining light. Everyone who knew her felt her warmth, her laughter, and her nurturing spirit. She was a devoted mother to her two children, a 13-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, and her family was her world. She was also known for her kindness, resilience, and positivity. She was a person whose presence brought comfort and whose smile could brighten the darkest of days. She had an unmatched spirit and was cherished by her family and community. Chanti was employed as a stripper at Sunset Strip, a strip club on West 16th Street in Indianapolis, and she was also an OnlyFans entertainer. On September 8, 2024, Chanti's life took a devastating turn. After finishing her shift at the Sunset Strip around 3:30 a.m., she ordered an Uber to take her home. That ride would become a nightmare because Chanti was never seen again. Her family grew worried when she didn't come home and wasn't answering her phone. They tracked her phone and discovered her body in the woods behind her home. This discovery was absolutely devastating. The police were called, and they found Chanti's body in a wooded area, partially unclothed. They determined she had suffered a single gunshot wound to the left side of her head. The coroner ruled her death a homicide. Police also discovered 2 cell phones in the woods near where her body was found, both belonging to Chanti. Chanti's mother provided the passcodes to unlock her phones. Police discovered Chanti ordered an Uber at 3:34 a.m. and was picked up by her Uber driver. She made one brief stop along Washington Street before being driven to her home address on Earhart Street. Detectives saw that her ride was marked completed at 4:05 a.m. and the driver was given a $5 tip. Uber records showed the driver was driving a BMW vehicle with an Indiana license plate. Investigators identified the Uber driver as 29-year-old Francisco Valadez. His home address was shown to be on Aristocrat Circle. With this information, detectives went to Valadez's address to question him about what happened on the night Chanti was killed. Initially, Valadez claimed he picked up Chanti and nothing unusual occurred. After further questioning, he then claimed that after dropping Chanti off, he heard a gunshot and sped away from the location. He later said he called the non-emergency line to report the incident. Police told him there was no record of that call. He then changed his story and claimed an armed black man had approached the car, tried to rob Chanti, shot her in the thigh, and she got out of his car. Valadez admitted to cleaning blood out of his car afterwards. It was the classic "a black man did it" story. The police were convinced that Valadez was not telling the truth because his story kept changing and made little sense. But here's where the lies began to unravel. Police spoke with Valadez's mother, who informed them that he always carried a gun and recently cleaned out his car. She also mentioned that the items he used to clean his car was inside her residence. Acting on this information, detectives searched the residence and found bloody rags and a 9mm handgun in Valadez's room. The coroner determined that the gunshot wound was to Chanti's head, not her thigh. Valadez then changed his story, saying Chanti had been hitting him in the head, so he grabbed his gun and shot her over his shoulder in self-defense. But that wasn't the end of the story, as it changed again. The truth was far more disturbing. Valadez eventually confessed that he was a 30-year-old virgin who offered Chanti money to take his virginity, but she turned him down. Valadez then got into the back seat with Chanti and attempted to sexually assault her. He claimed it was at that time Chanti made a comment and laughed at him. That's when he became enraged and shot her in the head in a fit of anger. He then dragged her body behind a concrete barrier at the dead end of Wagner Lane, which was very close to her apartment. Valadez also admitted to attempting to have sex with her corpse before disposing of her belongings. He left her partially nude on the ground and threw her phones and wallet into the woods, where they were later found by her family. Please note that there is no way to know what actually happened in the Uber ride, because one person is a pathological liar and the other is the victim who is deceased. This case is filled with so many layers of horror. It was a betrayal of trust and a horrifying act of violence against a woman who was simply trying to get home. Valadez is now being held without bond on preliminary felony murder charges and faces other charges including attempted rape of a corpse. Chanti's death is a stark reminder of the dangers that can exist in everyday situations. It underscores the need for rideshare safety measures, such as an emergency button for people who feel unsafe in rideshare vehicles. Uber has banned Valadez from the app and is cooperating with the police investigation. The company also said in 2019 they added a safety option for both the passenger and driver to initiate an audio recording while riding in an Uber. This safety feature was not used in this case. It's important for passengers to be vigilant when using rideshare services, share your location with loved ones, and if a ride ever feels unsafe, call someone on speakerphone and get out of the car. Chanti's family has created a GoFundMe page to help with funeral expenses and to care for her 2 children. They remember her as a kind-hearted woman, always willing to help others. She was a ball of life, and her loss is an unimaginable tragedy. Her family is absolutely devastated, and they hope that her legacy will live on. Her story is a heartbreaking one, and I know that we all send our deepest condolences to her loved ones.
My heart is saying that she's gonna walk through the door, say, "Hey, mama, what y'all doing?" That's what my heart's saying, but I know she not gonna physically walk through the door.
What are your thoughts on this case? Please share them in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories. We'll be back next week with another look at the world of true crime.